Hey there, everyone, and welcome back to Cowboy Survival. I'm Richard. You know, I've said before that one of the things I'm just not really good at is knife sharpening. It's not a skill that I really have. It's a skill I'm working on, but it's not one of my top skills. So I needed a little help because some of my knives get a little dull and I'm not real good at sharpening them. So I decided I'm going to try the Work Sharp Knife Sharpener. Really nice little compact tool. I've seen it demonstrated. So we're going to open this today. I haven't opened it yet. We're going to open it and see what's inside the box, and then we're going to hook it up and we're going to actually try it on some of my pocket knives that I think need some sharpening. So let's just go see how it goes. So this is the Work Sharp Sharpener MK2. There are several different versions of this item. You can buy them in a much fancier version. There's some simpler versions. This one cost about $90. I can't remember if I got it off of Amazon or Walmart, but you can get it both places. I know a lot of hardware shops sell them. So they're really available in a lot of different places. Now let's open up the box and see what's in it. So I'll confess, I did open this earlier and to see what it looked like on the inside, so I sort of know what I was doing. I'm going to put this knife on this so it holds that down. Okay, so the first thing we have is a little bag. It's got some items in it. It has a little sticker that you get, because apparently a lot of people like to put stickers on things. I don't put stickers on anything. You get your little notice here to make sure and register your warranty. And then you have a little booklet here, and this booklet will give you a lot of guidance on how to use the device, what settings to use, and that kind of thing. So let's look at the device itself. We'll pull it out of the box. Oh, the other thing you get in it is you get some extra belts to go with it. This is a belt drive sharpening system. It comes with 3 belts. The green is the most coarse belt of all. You're going to use it when you have items that are really damaged and you need to grind a lot of metal off. The red is the standard one you're probably going to use most often, and there's only one of those here because one of them's already on the machine when it comes. And then you get two purple belts that are very fine. That's for polishing your knife blades. Okay, so we pull this out of the box, and I'm going to put the box over to the side because we don't need it anymore. Now, the device itself looks like this, and it's got several items on it, several tools. First of all, when it comes out of the box, this is turned this way. You'll take it and you'll turn it up like this until it clicks. Now you're in the mode or in the position where you would use it to actually sharpen something with. Now, there's a couple other tools here. First of all, you'll notice on the front of this just flips down. It unsnaps and flips down. This is what's called the guide, okay? So as you pull a knife through, it'll come through this way. You'll take the knife and you will pull it through this way, and that's the guide you'll use. Now you flip it down. Flipping it down is going to be very useful when you are trying to change this belt, and I'll show you how to do that later. Now, in addition, you also have another switch that's on the back of this, and let me show you. This is how you determine whether you're doing a 25-degree or a 20-degree grind on this. So when it's up like this, you're doing a 20-degree grind. When it's down, you're going to use a 25-degree grind. Now, the booklet recommends that if you're doing things like pocket knives and outdoor knives, you use a 25-degree grind. If you're doing things like kitchen knives, you use the 20-degree grind. And what it does, it moves you up or down the angle. So this is going to push this up, you can see. And now I'm going to get a tighter or more of a 25-degree grind on this thing. Okay, so 3 other switches you need to be aware of. First of all, there's the trigger down here on the bottom. This is what's going to turn it on and off. And you don't flip a switch on. You pull the trigger, you let the trigger off. Pull the trigger, let the trigger off. Now, it's got 2 speeds. It's got a speed 2 and a speed 1. Speed 2 is going to be used for more damaged kind of items, things like hatchets and that type of thing, or if you're really trying to take a lot of steel off, it's going to make it go faster. Speed 1, and you see a 1 in right here, that's the speed you're going to use for most of your normal sharpening that you're going to do. There's also a button right here, and this button, when you press it in, will allow you to rotate this forward, and now it is going to be, oh, I went too far. Now it's in a mode that you can use it to grind with. So if you just didn't want to run a knife blade through, if you wanted to grind like a hatchet blade or something like that, you could do it with this end of it. And then if you want to put it back, you just press this, you pull it up, and there's a little notch right here, and when you flip that up, that will go right back into that notch, and you'll be ready to sharpen your knife blades again. So the next thing I want to do is we're going to actually work with this and actually sharpen some blades and see how that works. So before we get started, I want to show you a couple of other things here. The first of all is on the bottom of this, you've got 4 little non-skid pads. So that when you put this thing down on a solid surface, it's not going to skid. You'll be putting your weight on the handle here with your left hand. Now if you're right-handed, I don't know, maybe that's a problem with your left hand, and you would be pressing down with it this way. Now your trigger is right here, and you pull your trigger. It's got 1 speed and 1 speed only. That's speed 1. Speed 2, you see, is a lot faster. And so you got to be careful because this will take off a lot of metal. So I'm going to show you. I did a couple of knives earlier. I have 2 knives that are identical. These are these little $10 knives from Buck Knives, little bitty ones I like to keep. This one, you'll see, is pretty straight blade. Now it's kind of dull. It really needs some sharpening badly. I had another one exactly like it that I need to sharpen, and I'd never used this before. These are not expensive knives, so I didn't care. So I took this and I sharpened it. I want you to look at the difference in those 2 blades. I took off a ton of metal off of that blade right there. So let me see if I can show it to you a little better. Look at those 2 knives right there. Can you see how this knife has a lot less metal on it than this one does? I over sharpened this one. I over ground it on those belts, and I took off way more metal than I wanted to. This is the problem if you're not careful with this. That's why practice with some inexpensive knives first. These are very inexpensive. I've had them a long time. I didn't care what happened to them. But I want to show you this knife. Now it's sharp, more or less, but I took off a ton too much metal right there, as opposed to this one that's still nice and straight. So I messed that knife up. I got to be careful when I do that one. Be very careful. This thing will take off a lot of metal. I know it's just sandpaper, but it will take off a lot of metal off of your knife, so be careful. If you have a knife blade, and let's just take my Ozark Trail blade here, and what we're going to do is we're going to take this Ozark Trail blade and we're going to demonstrate how to use this sharpener. So the way we're going to do this is we're going to try to keep the blade perpendicular to the belt, okay? So we want to keep it straight up and down. Now, we don't want to have the belt going until the blade is in place. So we're going to put the blade in, we're going to put it down against the guide. Now there's a guide down here at the bottom, and you want it resting on that before you start, okay? So the very end, back of the blade. Now, you're going to try to keep this thing up against this amber line here, and once you turn this blade on, as you're moving, you're going to pull this knife through, and you're going to stop while the point is still on the belt, and then let it up. Otherwise, the danger is you'll round your point off and your tip off, and you don't want to do that. So you'll turn it on. We'll pull it through, and then we'll let it up. When this is still on the blade, we'll let the power off, and then we'll pull it out and we'll start it again. So let me show you what we're going to do. We're going to put it down in the position just like this. Then what we're going to do is we're going to turn the blade on. I'm going to pull it through slowly, trying to keep it straight up and down. And when I get the point on the belt, so it's still supported by the belt, I'll let the power up. I'll stop. Now I'll do it again. Now, because it's curved, I'm going to have to pull up a little bit. So I don't want to pull it straight through. I'm going to pull it up. I'll pull it up and I'll round it up a little bit. But once that blade is still on the belt, I'll turn it off. So let me show you again. Now the tip is still on the belt, so I'll turn it off. Put it back on, rest it on the guide down there. Pull up on it a little bit and turn it off. Now you can see I've taken off quite a bit on that side. Well, you can feel it. It's starting to really sharpen it. Now I'll do it on the other side. I'll get it down onto the guide. Keep it up against that guide right here, this amber line. Turn it on. I'm going to pull up a little bit as I get toward the tip. When the tip is still on the belt, I'll let it up. Now I'll do it again. The tip is still supported by the belt, so I'll let it up. I'll put it down, on, start pulling it across the belt. The tip is still on the belt, we'll let it up. Now, that's going to be a pretty sharp blade right there. Let's get a piece of paper. Look at that, slices right through that paper, really clean. Once you get it started, I have trouble getting it started sometimes. Boy, that's really nice and sharp right now for that blade. That's the Walmart Ozark Trail. That's a D2. That is actually D2 steel. It doesn't tell you that, but that's what that is. So let's go ahead and pull this knife out that was my grandfather's. Now these are going to be a little harder when they're small blades like this, because with a small blade you can't really rest it as much. So you have to be really careful to keep it straight up and down. And again, I'm going to get it in place. Then what I'll do is I will pull it through. And then while the tip is still on that belt, stop it. Turn it on. While the tip is still on the belt, stop it. So I've taken off quite a bit. Let's try the other side. It's hard to remember to wait until the knife is in place before you turn it on. And that knife is really sharp. But you can see it does take metal off of that blade, so you have to be really, really careful. Okay, so let's look at how you change a belt on one of these things. Neat little trick. It's just something everybody needs to know how to do. First thing you're going to do is flip down the guide in the front. Just grab it, and it just hooks, and you push it down. Now I've got this unplugged. It's not working. Next thing you're going to do is take this in the front. You see this has got a little spring right here? You're going to just grab it front and back, push it down, and turn it. Now that's going to lock that in place, and it's going to allow you to take the belt completely off. Now, when you're ready to put this back on, it's very simple. You simply fit it in these little grooves. It's going to fit back in there on, there's wheels back in there. So you'll put this, it's hard to do it with one hand. It's not really hard, it's just I'm a little klutzy. So you get it all the way in there, make sure it's on those wheels that are back there. Now you don't want this sticking up here, it won't work. It's got to be actually back on the wheel. You're going to bring it up in here and put it where this is here. Now make sure that's, again, make sure that's all back in there. And it's down on those wheels just properly. You take this, twist it, and it's going to pop back up, and that's going to be in place. And you can move this back and forth a little bit. And then you're ready to start, you push up your guide, of course. And when you push up your guide, you're ready to start sharpening again. It's that simple to change the belts. So there you have it, the Work Sharp Knife Sharpener. Is it the best sharpener in the world? No. Is it going to beat doing hand sharpening with, say, stones and a strop? Probably not. But if you've got a lot of knives that you're used for working, you want to get them sharp quickly, and you want to make sure you can put them right back to work, this is a great handy little tool to keep around the house, I think. It's a great way to sharpen your kitchen knives. It's a great way to sharpen your pocket knives. And I think also some of your fixed blades, if you don't want to, for the ones you don't want to put on a stone and a strop, because that'll take a lot longer. Great little tool to have. It's about $90, as I said. I'll put a link to this down in the description, so if you want to get one for yourself, you can. Now, another thing I did is I went ahead and bought an extra set of belts to go with it when I got this, because I'm going to probably have this a long time. By the time I go through all these belts, I'm afraid this model might be gone. You might not even be able to get the replacement belts. You know how companies are today. So I went ahead and bought a set of replacement belts for it when I got it, so I've always got these. So I've now got 4 of each of the belts that I can use whenever I need to. Nice handy dandy little tool. If you like the video, click the like button below. Make sure you subscribe if you like the channel and you want to keep watching these kind of videos. Also hit that notification bell so that when we put out new videos, you'll be informed that we have new videos out there. In the meantime, stay strong, stay prepared, and have a blessed day. We'll see you real soon right here on Cowboy Survival.